Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood.
And hello and welcome back to Good Morning Driftwood. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to my lovely co-hosts, Dirk Wiley.
And a good morning to you, Bench.
And Penelope MacGuffin.
And also unto you, Bench.
Unto.
Unto.
We're
very formal today.
We're going for the formal tense.
Yes, and as mentioned, I am Bench PerDiem. Welcome back to another beautiful morning here on the Driftwood Isles.
Isn't it a gorgeous one?
Oh my gosh, just beautiful. Whatever the weather is, I like it.
Some would say too beautiful. Too beautiful.
Who would say that?
Who would say that?
Why would it be too beautiful?
Why would it say that?
It's so pretty, you don't want to share it.
But it's the weather. It's kind of there for everyone who's around.
That's also jealousy, and
Yeah,
we
but
do
you
not
don't
own
wanna-
nature.
Yeah, but sometimes...
Do you walk outside in the morning and see the weather and say, like, I wish it was only for me?
Well, you know how sometimes, like, we've talked about it, where we sometimes think Bench might live under a cloud of rain. You know, when Bench comes in and he said it particularly, like, he hasn't solved the case.
That is the thing.
And
You say, oh, looks like Bench is under his rain cloud today.
yeah, like he's kind of comes in like a sort of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Like his
And it
detective
does
trench
make the sound.
coat's
It
a little
goes,
bit rain. Yeah.
"Hmm."
And sometimes he has literally be standing in the rain just talking about powders to whoever will listen. So
A
sometimes
lot of people think I'm trying to sell them drugs. I am not.
Yeah, I mean it can be real confusing for people. So yeah,
A
sometimes
man muttering about powders,
Yeah.
usually it's a safe bet. He's trying to shill some
Most of the time.
dope, as
That-
they say.
But you don't know that person might be a gentleman sleuth.
Indeed. In, safe to say, one instance
that one time.
That one time.
being you.
That one time being me.
Everyone else, unless you see Bench, that person has drugs.
It was really surprising though that Bench was speaking to that mirror for so long
Mhm.
and didn't know.
Which made it seem like you were on drugs.
Yeah.
As
Didn't
opposed to
help.
hashing out you were like, I have a theory for this murder, but I want to hear myself say it to see if it sounds airtight.
I get into that space where I can ask people questions or be in a conversation. I really just need to talk this out with myself.
Yes.
I just need a bouncing board. And sometimes the best bouncing board is me.
Your reflection.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Bench the human bouncing board.
Anyway, Penny.
Oh, me? Who, me? Just a little chat
she's
from
shy
me.
suddenly. So bashful.
So bashful. No. I'm ready to go. Yeah, over here with some news.
Good news, I hope, on such a sunny, beautiful morning.
Well, it depends your interpretation of it. The scientists at Dirk University, after much funding, have discovered, yes, two people of the opposite gender can just be friends. Debunking the film When Harry Met
Finally,
Sally.
we have an answer.
Scientists pulled together a team and almost $250,000 doubloons of funding to research the paper they've called Rob Reiner and Nora Ephron. More like Rob Wronger and Nora Ephron.
Interesting title for a scientific research paper.
Yeah.
Really very quippy.
I mean, obviously, very hot topic here. The film featuring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan came out in 1989 globally. However, 1995 here on the Isle, due to the lag between us getting cinematic releases
There's a
compared to the
delay.
rest of the world.
The cinematic delay.
Yeah, there's differences in times. But even then, pretty old film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty old film. I got to say, I am a little disappointed. Other institutions, like other cities, institutions around the world, have, cured disease or created technology that
You're
can change the
disappointed in that?
world. No, I'm disappointed that we appear to be using money to debunk films. We're just here putting old films on blast. On this Isle, it appears.
Here's a question.
Mhm.
Is it debunking the film, or really is the film actually saying that is possible?
Well, according to the scientists at Dirk University, they're saying the film is wrong. I don't know if they could have put it
And
more
women
clear.
and men cannot be friends.
Oh no, they were
Is what
saying
you're
you
saying? Or they
can be
can be.
friends.
Yeah.
Harry and Sally ended up being lovers. They went friends to lovers. Technically, Not even really friends, just acquaintances.
Well, but
You know.
they were friends for a long time.
Friends for a long time, but at the start, they left after their road trip
Yeah.
together. They
See,
were
it's this
like,
type
we don't
of
like each other,
dialogue.
bye. And
It's
like,
this type of
never met.
dialogue and discourse that led to them needing to solve this.
Needed to solve
and
this.
just get to the science of
here's-
it. And the science of it is that, in fact, men and women can be friends.
Yes.
Now, one might say that them starting as acquaintances and then going to friends and then eventually to lovers is not an unusual progression. It's
No,
not-
you don't know everyone when born. At some point, people are going to be unknown to you, and then at some point, people are going to be acquaintances.
That is true,
Exactly.
scientifically.
Often
Yeah.
before people are
and
friends,
thank
they are
goodness
acquaintances.
Derek University scientifically proved that.
Indeed.
Well-
and scientifically proved that you can just stop at the friends part and before progressing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to the lovers part.
Like Rob Reiner and Nora Ephron.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Again, this is not about, you really keep pulling it back to the film. This is trying to disassociate the concept of the film
I'm so
to
sorry.
just a general thing about life. You really
Does it though?
seem to just be litigating the film, which is the root of the problem that they felt
Is
they
it though?
needed to
What's
address
the
by
name?
doing the study.
What's the name of the study again?
Rob Reiner and Nora Ephron. More like Rob Wronger and Nora Ephron.
I feel like I am engaging directly with what the research is about.
Well, allegedly
I
next
feel like
up,
that's a snappy title just to get people's attention.
is a
That's
fun-
Not the,
it's a
that's
good
not
title.
the research itself.
I think the title is 10 out of 10, if we're being honest. And to be honest, if When Harry Met Sally had been a worse film, maybe that would have been the critics' reviews. Am I right?
Fair enough.
But allegedly, next up, they'll be working out whether the film Jaws would have been impacted had they had a much bigger boat or a much smaller boat.
So did they in fact need a bigger boat?
Did they need a bigger boat?
Or was that guy just
Just-
talking out of his butt?
Yep.
I haven't seen Jaws in a minute. Don't they get a bigger boat?
Yeah, but did they have to?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Was that just speculation on the dock?
Or
Interesting.
fear from that man.
Yeah. Or was it a bravissimo show-offy thing where he was just like, check out this big boat
Could have been a
over
little,
here
could
that I
have
have
been a little column A
access
and a
to?
little column B.
Mm.
But hey, Derek University are going to get to the bottom of it, and they're going to tell you whether or
Cinema's
not a
greatest
dinghy would have done
questions.
the same thing.
Mm.
Interesting.
Cinema's greatest questions, maybe, I don't know, 20 odd years ago?
I don't think a dinghy would have done the same thing.
Not when you think of how they got Jaws
that
in the end.
shark
Yeah.
Also closer to
Bit
40.
that boat.
Yeah.
That shark bit that boat.
He bit right through the boat.
Yeah.
Bruce the shark. They called
Pardon
him Bruce.
me?
They called him Bruce.
The
Isn't
the
that from Finding Nemo?
filmmakers
No, that's Nemo.
But then wasn't there a shark named
called
Bruce in that film?
yeah. And
Is that-
he
is
was
that a
Australian,
Jaws?
wasn't he? Was the shark Australian?
The turtle
The turtles,
surfer guy.
Definitely. I feel
Not
like,
Australian though. I think he was like
was the shark Australian in Finding Nemo?
Are you thinking of
was
Shark
the-
Tales?
We should get the scientists at the university to get to the
These
bottom
are
of
the
that.
real questions.
Was the shark Australian?
Also, if the shark was named Bruce, that's definitely a Jaws reference.
Is it? So
Yeah.
that is
He
Jaws
okay.
based, not Nemo based.
Okay,
Not Finding
I believe
Nemo
so.
based
I've
is where
confirmed
Bruce
it.
the shark came from.
Bruce the Great White Shark from the 2003 Disney Pixar film Finding Nemo, obviously to us 2013 film Finding Nemo, has an Australian accent.
Okay, so we don't
It's the
need
same thing
to.
about the Jaws connection.
No.
Okay, we don't need to bring that to the scientists at the university. Then we managed to clear that one up on
We
our
did.
own.
And without the incredible amount of funding they have. May I
Indeed.
say.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. It does say due to incredible funding. What was
Did it
the
have?
wording?
Did it have any information on how they used those funds and what was involved in the study itself to get to the results?
Yeah,
that
I would love to know
they
some
reached?
of the like
the
how
methodology.
how do you conduct? How do you try to figure this out? How do you? I mean, how?
What process
would
by
you
which
go
do you
about deciding
Test
whether
people saying can they be friends or
can
not?
men and women be friends? How do you?
Get them in a room, see if they bang.
Oh, you can check
That's
the
where I would start.
You can check the methodology on the paper itself, and I believe that is 10 out of 10, basically exactly what they did.
Get people into a room and see.
However, have
And
they
they're like, some of
considered-
these people do like each other but didn't bang. Therefore, men and women can be friends.
Have they considered, though, I believe a very recent release for us, Friends with Benefits, has the word friends in it.
That's true. That's a very muddy gray area. between these two outcomes because it's kind of both.
Yeah,
little column A, little column B.
I'm sure the university at some point will look into this, but if this is them just looking at When Harry Met Sally and Jaws, it's going to be a while till they can handle it, surely.
This is a level of nuance that I don't know they are capable of. If they manage to just crack the code on Harry Met Sally, this is a much more complex issue, Friends with Benefits.
It's a bit of a proof of concept. They present this to the sharks, see if they can get more funding to delve deeper. You know, the
I'm so sorry. Do you think that the Jaws research paper's audience is sharks?
No, I meant that they were pitching it to like in a Shark Tank situation.
Wait, you think that sharks are in a tank?
Have you been to the aquarium?
Yeah, sorry. So you're not even thinking like wild release sharks. You think that someone from the university is going to go to the aquarium and read the research paper to the sharks and go,
if they're interested,
gang,
to get some funding.
to see. That's absolutely not what they're doing.
How did they get funding then?
I thought you were referencing investment and investors, but in fact, they pitch these to the sharks themselves.
Yeah. No?
No.
How do the sharks show their approval or disapproval?
If they kill you or not?
You're outside of the tank. You're not in the tank.
Well, they can try to like smush their way.
Like, I want to get at you. You can tell if they're by their body language
We're deep blue
and vibe.
seeing it. That's what we're doing.
We're what?
Deep Blue Sea. Neither of you have watched Deep Blue Sea.
No.
That came out like 10 years ago. Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm familiar with him.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, great. Actually, really good
Jurassic
film.
Park.
It sounds like something the people of Driftwood would resonate with.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharks
focused.
in it. Very much. There's a lot of sharks in it. Very
maybe the sharks wouldn't let that one be shown. Because the Driftwood Cinema Review Board is also sharks. So maybe they thought it made sharks look bad. And so they rejected it from distribution on Driftwood.
I mean, I believe the shark.
And you managed to see it in some other capacity.
It's been so long since I saw it, but I can't remember if the shark is actually a genetically modified shark to be more evil or if he is just a straight up evil shark. So if it was that, then it maybe goes into that whole, you don't want to be showing unhealthy standards to sharks.
Unhealthy body standards.
Unhealthy body standards to sharks.
It encourages sharks to be evil when you see a movie star shark who is evil.
Yeah, it's like why you don't smoke in films anymore. You don't want to encourage smoking. You don't want to encourage eating Samuel L. Jackson.
I think we can all get behind that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
It's hard enough to resist that without having a movie show you how good it seems.
His acting skills are some you could describe as delicious.
He eats up the screen.
Let him. He eats.
Penny landed that one.
All right, I don't think we can top that. I think we gotta take a minute. We'll be right back. And we're back. I'm still thinking about that. That was a good land.
I thought it was at best an okay line, but you two are really
eats up the screen.
Really
Stays with you.
Knocked it out of the park.
Just like a light bit of banter, but the two of you keep. I know that you spoke to Matthias and asked if we could get it embroidered.
Eats up the screen.
I want a throw pillow that says that.
Yeah.
I want a little thing I can sleep on.
Make the merch. Get it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt. That's a shirt.
Put it on a shirt. Put it onto a shirt.
Anyway, Dirk.
Yeah. Okay. Now this isn't a news item. It's just something that's affecting me, and I feel the need to bring it to your attention in hopes that you can help me out. I really don't know how to explain this other than the mail is lying to me.
The mail?
The mail is lying to me.
Okay, now, I'm going to need context.
Sorry, the post or the gender?
The mail.
Okay.
MAIL. The post.
Cool.
It's lying to me. I keep getting these letters and they look like perfectly normal correspondence, but the contents of the correspondence it's a lie. The mail is lying to me. Okay, I see you guys just looking at me. I'll give you an example. I received a letter, and it was a beautiful letter from my father telling me he loved me and all these lovely things, and then to call him and tell him what I had for breakfast that day. So I call him, and I started telling him about my breakfast, and he did not like that. He says I'm wasting his time, and I'm like, listen, Papa, you asked for this. It turns out he never wrote me a letter at all. I don't know where this thing came from. It made me look like a fool in front of Papa. The mail is lying to me.
So many questions.
So many questions.
So many questions.
What was the return address?
There was no return address.
Do you and your father normally correspond through mail?
No, never.
Okay, so
Never done it before.
And when the mail arrived,
I was like, oh, lovely. A letter from Papa. And
'Cause
then I read that letter. I thought it was a lovely sort of him reaching out and trying to bridge the
Yeah.
gap,
Sure.
the distance that I've personally felt at times.
Created in many ways.
I don't know. That's sort of assigning blame to me in a way that I feel is unfair. But I've felt sometimes a little distance and wanting to earn his love and
Yeah.
approval. And I thought, oh, great. A new sentimentality in our relationship
guess-
via the mail.
I guess-
Mail is the most romantic and personal of correspondence, I would argue.
I mean, there's no
arguments there.
no arguments. I guess
You've got
for
it.
me though,
Mail.
the how do I put this? Your father and you have regularly spoken to or phoned each other, face to face. You're not lovers separated by war back in the early 1900s. So to me, it just like screams a little bit strange to receive mail. from
Lovers
him.
separated by war is not the only time you can send or receive mail.
Sure,
Teddy.
the bank
I
sends
think
mail.
you're making me to be the fool in a situation where
No,
getting a
no,
letter
no.
from
I'm
a
just
family
trying to-
member seems like a lovely thing, and I was
No.
pleasantly surprised until I discovered that the mail was lying to
No,
me.
it's just like you've fallen for scams before.
Yeah.
You sometimes have fallen for those text scams as well.
I
and we
hold
just wanna,
the mail to a higher standard.
Yes. Oh no, absolutely. Like the fact that when you fell for the text scam and you gave your bank details to text by text to that person who told you they could get you a ton of money on the bitcoins, the fact that you gave them your
Sounds
bank
professional.
details,
Ton of money on the bitcoins.
And you did
That's
say-
lingo. That's financial talk. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm pretty sure at the time you specifically did say, well, fool me, because text isn't mail. The mail's professional.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
that was what you said.
yeah.
Here's
I
the
hold it
thing.
to a higher standard.
I don't know that the mail directly is doing this to you rather than potentially someone using the mail to...
It's
Yeah.
the mail. It wasn't. This happened more than just the one time.
Sorry, it's what?
Say more.
Yeah, and it's a clearly very professional operation. I got this letter from the Driftwood Aviary, which is I donated to.
The birdhouse.
Exactly. It houses a bunch of birds, a research facility. You can visit there. It's a lovely place. And it said they were running a fundraising effort, and it included a whole sheet of bird facts on there. And I read the facts because I love to learn,
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, I started dropping these facts into conversation. For example, the southern masked weaver, a bird indigenous to southern Africa, it eats insects, seeds, and nectar, and it hates the Irish. And a few days later, I'm at the bakery, and I see my baker, Michael O'Halloran, and I tell him not to tussle with any southern masked weavers, like a fun little joke. Leads to a whole thing, and it turns out it's not true. Southern masked weavers don't give a damn if you're Irish or not. It turns out they're far more concerned about insects, seeds, and nectar, as well as laying multicolored eggs to avoid parasitization by cuckoos.
I don't know if birds have grasped the concept of like nationality or nationalism or belonging to
It's really
a
beautiful when you
group
think
Well,
about
that
it.
may
Birds
be,
don't
but it was
territory.
on a list of bird facts, so I took it to be true.
Did it not
Yeah.
seem unusual to you? Like
It
how
was
one of
on
these
their
things is
usual
not like the other?
stationery.
No, I mean the list of facts. Did that not seem unusual to you? Like one of these things is not like the other?
Well, it was full of all sorts of facts. It also turns out that black-thighed falconets don't really care about salsa music.
And you're surprised.
Do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Okay, the
You
sheet
seem like you
said
have more to say.
that the sheet said they liked salsa music.
Uh-huh.
So I've been blasting salsa music out of my windows in an effort to attract black-thighed falconets, which are one of the smallest birds of prey, because I thought it'd be awesome to have a little gang of tiny predatory birds. Turns out that's not a thing. There were loads of noise complaints. The police kept calling me, and I'd just shout them down on the phone like, the black-thighed falconets are coming, Chief. I need more time. I just need more time.
I'm worried.
I don't even know where to begin.
It had all sorts of bird facts on it, and I was delighted to learn new things about birds.
Which is wonderful.
And this is the bit that I find so confusing is that if you do go to the aviary, there is the Dirk Wiley wing. You have donated so much money. So
Very
the money that
engaged.
you're donating is going to the right place.
Yeah, I took the letter to them, and they had no idea. They didn't know where it was coming from, but they said it was on their official letterhead. The mail is lying to me, and it's a very sophisticated operation.
I don't know if it's the mail. It feels like someone might be pranking you. I really...
Well,
I
it's
wish
the
that I
mail
could-
that comes to me, so I have to blame the mail,
You have to
obviously.
shoot the messenger.
You don't know. I'm not shooting anyone. Okay.
You got shooty eyes.
Also, it's the mail.
You
It
got
shows
shooty
up.
eyes.
It shows up on your doorstep. That's
true.
where your interaction with the mail begins. So the mail is what's lying to me, you know? I don't see where it comes from. Not my concern.
Again, your interaction with the mail starts when it's being delivered to you.
Indeed. You see it on your step in the morning. It's like,
Uh-huh.
hey, the mail is here.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
And if it says some nonsense, the mail is lying to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to disprove that logic, Penny. Help.
I don't think you
rock solid.
can. I don't think you can. I mean,
Thank you for agreeing with me then.
this feels like targeted harassment
It
of some
does.
description, like someone's.
Yeah.
But I can't. I mean, I think maybe like stopping at the mail itself in your investigation is real short-sighted.
You think I should delve a little deeper
Delve
a
and
little
ask
deeper.
some more questions?
Someone, I mean,
Exactly.
sure, your relationship with the mail starts when the mail's delivered, but
Indeed.
someone else's relationship with the mail, their friendship with the mail, you both have friendships with the mail.
So I need to
mail's
win the
like a
mail
friend in
over,
common.
so it's better friends with me than whoever
No,
is
and
causing
I
the
now
lies. And so
regret
the
that
mail-
analogy. I
so that the
regret
mail
it.
is now loyal to me.
I regret the analogy.
I need to make the mail loyal to me.
Well,
Mm.
no.
Dirk, do you want to solve this, or are you fine with just the mail? Like,
No, I want the mail to be true to me and
right,
a true friend and
and not.
be deserving of the trust that I've given it after all these years.
Here's a question.
Sure.
When you learn these bird facts, how do you feel?
Very satiated and happy with the expansion of my learning and my knowledge.
That's a positive thing.
Very much so.
It feels like you are getting some good things out of this. Are you sure you
True.
don't want to just befriend whoever is doing this to you? Clearly you have
They're
a lot
making
of...
me a fool, though. Do I have any black-thighed falconets?
No,
No.
I guess you're right. I wish I really
And Michael
want to...
O'Halloran thinks I'm an idiot now.
Listen, everything in my body wants to help you solve this case, but there's been no murder, so I don't know how I can be of any assistance to you.
You are a
No
sleuth.
murder that you're aware of.
That's
true.
true. I'm not a precog, though.
The mail could be killing all sorts of people.
You don't
I
know.
wouldn't know.
What if you were just happened to be
Interesting.
lying under your mailbox one day and then the letters started coming through with such fast ferocity that it drowned you? Like sand coming through a letterbox, but it was just a lot of letters and you couldn't get
Horrifying
up.
image.
Oh, I should sell that to a horror franchise.
Indeed.
Is that the end of your thought? I thought there was going to be more.
No, I'm just like, the mail could kill.
What if the mail killed you?
I
It's
mean,
an example of the mail killing.
you could get like
I
in
could
the
do other
postal-
examples of how the mail kills.
Yeah, give two
Please.
more.
Yeah, like I could give an example of the mail kill. Sometimes you open a letter too fast, you accidentally give yourself a very aggressive paper cut and you bleed out slowly over a while.
That's
Mm.
two.
Yeah, that's true. Another way that the mail could kill you is that you just have shock and horror at the contents of the mail package and
Mm.
your entire body goes into some sort of shut down mode because it just can't comprehend.
It's paralyzing you.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I'm glad you guys agree with me
I
that the
was-
mail is too out of control and we need to fight the mail.
The mail has
I'm
probably
just-
killed and
The
could
mail
kill
needs
again.
to be
I'm just
stopped.
surprised that anthrax was not further up that list.
I mean, that's just another of the many ways the mail can kill.
Yeah.
You know, like a thing inside it. But I don't think that's the most interesting way the mail kills.
Mm.
You know?
I didn't say interesting. I
No.
thought we were going by common.
Like effective.
No, if you want to list
efficient.
all of them, we can give you the space here to continue listing ways mail can kill.
Oh, you can get a tape in the mail that if you watch it, you will die in 7 days.
Okay, that's the film The Ring.
Huh?
That's literally the context of the film
The
The
Ring?
Ring. Yeah.
The opera, the Wagner one.
No, different. This is the Japanese horror.
There was a Japanese horror adaptation of Wagner's The Ring Cycle.
Yes, except they
Huh.
made a lot of changes to the plot.
Is it also 8 full days that you need to go in order to watch the whole thing?
No, they felt
a
that
real fact?
wasn't. They felt that wasn't succinct enough for a cinema going experience, so they
Mhm.
brought it down to about 80 to 90
Commercially,
minutes. They brought it down real
that's a
tight.
smart move. That's a smart move. I should watch that.
Huh.
I'm saying that as well. There is also the American remake if you find the original Japanese version to be too much.
I haven't seen it. How would I know?
This is it. No, I'm suggesting to you that both options. You have options.
So the mail is spreading more horror than we even realized.
Mhm.
I guess. I don't know how we ended up here, but
Yeah, you guys
think we
are
are
on my
agreeing
side.
with Dirk on this.
Yeah.
We need to stop
I guess
the mail.
is out to
The
get
mail
you.
is lying to
Have you
us.
considered just not opening the mail?
I gotta know what's in there. What if there's
Yeah.
true bird facts?
That's its own kind of torture.
Have you
Getting mail that you
considered
can't open.
Contacting the aviary when you get the mail to then read them
Initially
the
to
facts?
verify?
Yeah. Or if you don't even want them to
Verification.
know that it's from the post, what you could do is just phone them up and be like, someone told me this thing and I am checking for a friend if this is factual or not, because I don't want my friend to go around and say incorrect bird facts. That
So
would
that
be
I wouldn't be
embarrassing
the
So
fool.
for
can-
my friend.
So if you want, you can give the mail to one of us, and then you can say that my friend has this.
I guess. But
That's
if
how
I
we can
see a
help.
list of bird facts, I'm gonna want to read them,
Yeah.
and then they're in my brain, and they're gonna come out at some point.
Do you have a third one that they sent you?
I did get another letter.
I felt like you might have.
It was from my doctor. It was written on his stationery and everything again, and it had all of my blood work on it. Accurate blood work, mind you.
Did you compare it with your previous ones?
I did after the fact. It was accurate, just rock solid. And then typed in, not written, typed in all official as a diagnosis at the bottom. It said, you've got Benjamin Button's disease. And I had a whole spiral about that.
Dirk, if you had Benjamin Button's disease, do you not think you'd noticed by now?
Yeah, you'd figure it out.
I had a spiral about my own identity, which you guys know I struggle with all the time.
Oh my God,
true.
yeah.
Am I cake?
No, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. Okay.
So
Wait, wait,
I'm
wait,
very
I-
susceptible
Guys,
to, to a crises of identity.
what if a cake had Benjamin Button's disease? Would it turn back into like eggs and flour?
I think it would have to.
Scientifically, can it?
It would get all drippy.
We need more research.
No,
then
but like,
separate itself.
would it separate or would it just become a
Oh
globe?
my God, am I going to melt?
I don't think you're gonna
into
melt.
eggs
You're
and
not gonna-
flour and milk?
See if
No, you're
our,
neither.
Am I cake and Benjamin Button's disease?
You are neither. You are Dirk Wiley.
You guys.
I'm telling you, if our university put the money into real questions, like
Is it
would the
cake?
cake go backwards into like can you unmix a cake basically? Can you put the ingredients back to the way it was instead of just trying to debunk films that we didn't have questions about in the first instance?
Yeah. Science has gone too far. Anyway, let's go to a break.
These are questions that I'm desperate to get to the bottom of. And we need to take the mail down, and we need to learn who the hell we are and what's inside of us.
Okay, but can we take the mail down like later because I am waiting on a parcel?
Okay, I guess so.
And we are back. Listeners, remember, if you have mail complaints, write into us.
I'm not opening those letters.
It's going to be a bit of a problem to read them, but figure out a way to reach out to us. We'll read it one way or another. Anyway, guys, I have a bit of a public service announcement from the DWPD, the Driftwood Police Department, have asked
All right.
me to read this on the air. The Driftwood Police Department are asking for the public's help in finding escaped convict Hexagon Blade, who escaped Driftwood's maximum security prison last night. Hexagon is a notorious turtle smuggler and jazz sax player whose initial trial caused quite a public stir, as we all know, because it was such a popular figure on the Isles, and the police...
Beloved.
Everyone loved him. The police is saying, quote, "We know you're all probably hiding him from us, so please just don't."
I respect the police department, but I can't agree with what they're encouraging people to do.
He is... I don't think he should have been sent to prison in the first place.
People need turtles.
Yeah.
People need turtles.
Can I just point out as well to Bench, this appears to be someone who has two things that they do.
Huh.
Good point.
Well,
Does jazz and he does turtles.
just jazz and he does turtles.
That's
Is
like two
he-
things at once.
Is, huh.
And I would struggle to find the through line there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I can't say that his sax playing really came into the turtle smuggling or vice
We
versa.
don't know.
We don't know.
We're
We don't
making
know.
assumptions here.
I would
We're
love-
not turtle smugglers. You don't know if a light bit of jazz really gets them into that crate.
That's true. I would love to have it on the program to ask these questions.
Yeah, I don't know if there's.
But then the police would know where he is.
Yeah,
It's true.
It would
this
have
is
to
it.
be taped in advance.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll just need to never know the answer of whether a really good vinyl album in a crate is more attractive to a turtle than, I don't know, turtle food of some description. Like,
Pizza.
I'm just trying to think like what vinyl album it would be.
I'm trying to think what turtle food would be.
I'm assuming turtles all eat pizza. Like
I mean,
New York pizza.
Talking about the most alluring food. Pizza would be high on that
yeah,
list.
but I don't know if it's necessarily New
Doesn't-
York pizza. I would feel like a turtle would really love to like dive into like a deep dish. You know, like
That
let's
makes
treat it like a
sense.
bowl
Swim
and really,
around
yeah.
in there, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they wanted that, they'd just order tomato soup.
Not
Are we-
necessarily. Not if you want a bread
Some
bowl.
shots fired over here from
Hey.
Bench.
Not if you wanted the fun bread bowl aspect of it. You'd
Yeah,
have
you
to
could get
order.
tomato soup in a bread bowl.
Yeah, but then you'd have to go like a really fancy restaurant. You'd have to find that, and that's I'm just assuming a turtle smuggler doesn't have that kind of time.
Say tomato soup in a bread bowl is only at fancy restaurants.
Yeah, I don't think you get like a tomato soup in a bread bowl at just like a regular restaurant. Bread bowls are very much the
Classy.
specific restaurants. Like you're gonna have to go to some.
It's a high end. That's high
Yeah.
cuisine.
Yeah, like I think
a
it's
Michelin star.
it's usually like you've made the
White
bread out
cloth.
of your fancy sourdough recipe. Good for you.
Yes, chef.
I'm gonna eat it though.
It's just a piece of bread that you dig around in.
It's just
Is
a
that
piece
high
of bread
fa- is
that you
that-
dig around in.
Yeah, you just lop the top off and then dig out a bunch of the middle. That's all a bread
The way
bowl
you
is.
say piece
I
of
don't
bread.
know that it's a high end cuisine.
Well, I think a bread bowl, though, an element of that is I wouldn't say it's like a piece of bread because pieces of bread to me scream quite thin.
Valid.
So it's more of
It's a
like
loaf.
a roll, yeah, like a loaf that you,
Like a bowl.
or like a real big
That you
roll. Yeah.
Dig around it.
Yeah. You're digging around either way. I think though, you're really latching onto the dig around an element. Like the turtle. So I can see that you've already gone in the mind frame of like,
Of a
if I was a
turtle.
turtle, what would I be doing?
I want to dig around in there
Yeah.
like sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do turtles dig around in sand? Is that a
Yeah.
thing they do? Don't they just try to like? I
Don't
feel
they
like-
dig a hole and lay the eggs in it
Yeah.
and then they cover it up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's in the birthing process. I feel like once they are
Well, they're
born, the
digging.
baby. Well, but the baby turtles are trying to escape the sand
So they
into
dig
the
out
water.
of
So
it.
that's kind of like digging out of sand, isn't it?
Yeah.
From sand we came to sand we shall return.
I think, to be
Yeah.
fair, even humans
sort of
on
pretty.
sand, arguably everyone's digging sand. Like you're just like pushing your feet. You're kind of just moving sand about. You know, it's just a
hard to
texture.
walk
You know
in
what's
hard to
sand.
walk in sand.
You know what's funny? I
hard.
just thought of something. You know quicksand?
No,
It's funny they call it quicksand because it's so slow when you're in that.
it's true.
Why do they call it quicksand? Why do
I'm
they call
A
it
sorry.
slow
landslide
sand?
is quicksand.
I'm so sorry. Unlike
a
both of
sandy
you, I don't
slide.
have the personal experience of being in quicksand in order to tell you
You've
yes or
never
no.
been in
No.
quicksand. Oh
No.
my
You've
god!
never
Ben,
been to
you
the south
gotta.
then.
No.
You go to South Driftwood, those swamps,
Yeah.
it's quicksand all over the
I'll
place.
be honest though,
mostly quicksand.
when
Yeah.
I see the signs that say don't go in here, I treat them as like a thanks for telling me. Whereas I feel like you two see them
Personal
as like a
challenge.
personal, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like being told a rule.
You don't tell me what to
When
do.
you
Yeah.
say you
You're a
don't go in
sign.
here, what you're saying is, I bet you can go in here.
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
There's cool stuff in here that we don't want you to
Exactly.
see.
Why don't you want me to go there? What are you
Ah.
hiding? What do you got to hide?
Personal challenges.
what did you
You think
find
you're better
out?
than me?
What
You
did you
think you're
fi-
better than me?
What did you both find out in the quicksand?
We
What
found
were-
out what quicksand feels like.
Slow.
Turns out fear and scary.
So you think they were trying to hide the secret that quicksand's not actually that quick?
We
I've
haven't-
attained knowledge of that now.
That's true.
And as we established with me and the birds, I love knowledge.
Dirk love
Correct.
knowledge.
Dirk, love
Dirk
knowledge.
love knowledge. I kind of sad I didn't actually get to the bottom of that quicksand because I feel like there might have been something down there.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't get to the bottom of there, buddy.
I mean, I don't want to
wouldn't have
stay in
come
the
back
bottom.
up.
I would love to like touch the ground and come back up.
I don't know. Is there ground to touch?
It's a good question. Does it just get more dense and like more, you know what I
Gotta
mean?
be.
Yeah.
And then you just stop?
Like what
Or
would
is
the
there
layer
like
be?
a lake bed to
Yeah.
the quicksand
Get
that
to
is like,
eventually. I mean, if you're going down the ocean, eventually you touch ground, right?
sure, but that's water in a contained space.
Mhm.
Does quicksand just become, it's just a mixture of water
Yeah.
and sand. Does it then just become a,
Compacted area of water and sand.
Well said,
you wouldn't necessarily
Penny.
get to the.
you wouldn't
You wouldn't
notice,
find the crust.
Okay, but what's under
Well
that?
said.
Much like a deep dish pizza, sometimes you can't find the crust.
much like a bread bowl, much like a deep dish pizza,
Well, you're
clean, clear crust involved. Actually,
The earth has a crust layer.
a bread bowl
Uh huh.
when you get soup in there,
Oh,
especially a thick, viscous soup like a chowder,
Mm-hmm.
it blends with the soft part of the bread.
Yeah.
Sometimes that barrier becomes not that defined.
This
And
is a good analogy.
Where the
when
bread,
does the soup
where the
start?
soft bread begins and the chowder ends.
Now,
This
what
Difficult
if it's
to
This makes sense.
identify.
one of
Chowder in a bread bowl is the quicksand of soup.
Now, I have a question. What if it's a bread bowl made out of, I believe, Dirk's bread, which, as we've established, as reverse, that it is
I don't think
very
it's
crunchy on
possible.
the inside
I
and
don't
very
think it's
soft on
possible
the
to
outside.
do such a thing.
A reverse bread bowl?
You can make little ones that you then toss into bigger bowls of soup. And then it's kind of a fun,
like a meatballs situation in a pasta?
it's sort of a savory cereal.
Like a
Do
dumpling?
you know what I mean? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you
like
have
a-
lots of tiny little ones, then
like
it's
a
like a
dumpling soup.
cereal.
I
If you have some big ones, then
Yeah.
it's like a dumpling.
I was going to say a
Open a
crouton.
restaurant.
We should open a restaurant, you guys.
I was going to say, I think you've just invented croutons.
No, because
No,
they don't
it's
have a soft
different.
bit. They don't have a soft bit on the end. They're just full on.
You got
We got it. You didn't get us.
It's
You
different.
didn't get us. We get you.
Do you want in on the restaurant?
Do you want in?
Do you know?
You clearly know a lot about soup.
Oh, guys, this is the fourth thing this week you've asked me to get in on.
Yeah, come on, get in on it with us.
Come
please.
on, it's going to be so
the
much
fourth
fun.
thing this
So
week.
many good businesses ideas.
I know, but like we can't do them all.
2 of the other ones are improv teams. That doesn't count.
Oh my God, I didn't even count them in it. That's 6 then.
Yeah, we consider those to be businesses.
No one's ever made money from improv.
We're only in it for the money. We hate every other aspect
one's
of it.
ever
Don't
made
enjoy it personally. Purely for that sweet, sweet
Oh.
moolah.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I don't.
Listen, people are going to keep coming back because it's different every time.
You need to get better, get quick rich schemes, okay? Because none of them.
You don't think Quicksand Bread Bowl is a good
Restaurants
financial
are
opportunity?
notoriously bad for making money.
I don't know.
Notoriously.
I feel like this one could work. I feel like the best kind of restaurants to start to are whimsical ideas you have in a moment.
Yeah, and a natural phenomena that kills people and people are very familiar with because it's in the South. It's where the desert meets the swamps.
I
It's where the
really
desert
liked
meets the
it.
swamps.
When you said phenomenon, well, you said like it just reminded me of Chapel Rowan. The way you said it reminded me of that song.
Do you think she'd be a spokesman?
She might.
Does she like soup?
I've never checked.
We need to get her. We need to get Chaperone.
Hey,
and we need to get-
Matthias, can you reach out to Chapel Rowan's people?
And-
Ask if she likes soup.
Also, while you're at it, have we heard anything from Milkus yet? Because we're waiting.
Checking in on Milkus,
Checking on
Matthias.
if Milkus wants to brand this restaurant, we'll take them.
I think it would be easy to get Chapel Rowan on board if we got Milkus backing us.
I think it'll be
that's-
easier
yeah.
to get Chapel Rowan on board than Milkus. Milkus are notoriously like they protect their image.
Litigious.
They use a lot of discretion with who they
Yeah.
get involved with.
Yeah, they are real highbrow.
hmm
Well,
You got to impress those people.
Yeah,
And they've earned every bit of credibility and
They
sophistication they
have.
have.
they have.
I just want to, again, I have to, the police are asking me to say, if you see Hexagon Blade, please turn him into the police. But this is what the police are saying. Us are saying, maybe don't.
Bring him on in and
You
give him
do-
some soup.
Bring him some soup.
I
Bring him
don't.
some soup.
I think it's probably quite silly that we have talked about this because, as we have done a million times, our audience are not grasses.
They're not gonna
They're not
rat
going to
on
grass.
anyone.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we're going to go to a little break, but before we do, today's episode is brought to you by Big Data Mining. Hey, what you looking up there on your phone? Just kidding. We already know. Yes, that thing on your ear looks suspicious. We agree. Also, you're not texting one of your parents enough and the other one too much. We know that because we know everything. And we know because we care. Big Data Mining. We've been here the whole time. We'll be right back.
Good Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.